The future has always fascinated humanity. We are drawn to the unknown, eager to glimpse what lies ahead. This desire to understand the future has found expression in many forms. Religions offer unique perspectives on the end of days and the events that will precede it. These prophecies, often shrouded in symbolism, captivate our imaginations. Prophecies about future wars are particularly compelling. They tap into our deepest fears about violence and destruction. Yet they also contain messages of hope, promising a brighter future. No book in the Christian Bible has sparked more fascination and debate than the Book of Revelation. Attributed to John, an apostle of Jesus, Revelation is a complex vision of the end times. It describes a period of great tribulation marked by natural disasters and a final battle between good and evil. This climactic confrontation, known as the Battle of Armageddon, takes place in a valley called Megiddo. The forces of evil, led by the Antichrist, will challenge the rule of God. They will be met by the armies of heaven, commanded by Jesus himself. Revelation makes it clear that good will triumph over evil, and Jesus will establish his kingdom on earth. The Book of Revelation is not meant to be a literal roadmap of future events. Rather, it is an allegorical work that uses symbolic language to convey spiritual truths. The Battle of Armageddon, for example, is not necessarily a physical battle that will take place in a specific location. It can also be interpreted as a representation of the ongoing struggle between good and evil that plays out both within individuals and on a larger societal scale. Throughout history, Christians have interpreted the Book of Revelation in various ways. Some have viewed it as a prediction of imminent events, using its prophecies to justify their own political or social agendas. Others have seen it as a more symbolic representation of the spiritual battles that Christians face in their daily lives. Regardless of one's interpretation, the Book of Revelation serves as a powerful reminder that history is not random or meaningless. It is moving towards a definite endpoint, one in which God's justice and love will ultimately prevail. Like Christianity, Islam also believes in a day of judgment when the world as we know it will come to an end. This day will be heralded by a series of signs and tribulations, including widespread corruption, natural disasters, and the emergence of a figure known as the Dajjal or false Messiah, who will deceive many with false promises. Amidst this chaos, a righteous leader known as the Mahdi will appear. The Mahdi is a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad who will guide the faithful and restore justice to the world. One of the most intriguing aspects of Islamic end-time prophecies is the role of Jesus. While Christians believe that Jesus will return to earth to judge the living and the dead, Muslims believe that Jesus, Isa in Arabic, will return as a follower of the Mahdi. Together, they will fight against the forces of evil, defeat the Dajjal, and establish a reign of peace and justice. This shared belief in the second coming of Jesus highlights the interconnectedness of the Abrahamic faiths and their shared anticipation of a divinely ordained future. Section 5. Islam, striving in the path of God, or jihad. The concept of jihad is often misunderstood in the West. The word jihad is often translated as holy war, but its true meaning is far more nuanced. In Arabic, jihad means struggle or striving. It refers to the ongoing effort that Muslims are expected to make to live a righteous life, resist temptation, and uphold the principles of Islam. This struggle can take many forms, including internal struggles against one's own ego and desires, as well as external struggles against injustice and oppression. While Islam does permit the use of force in self-defense or to protect the innocent, it emphasizes that war should always be a last resort. The Quran explicitly states that there is no compulsion in religion, 2:256, and that God does not love corruption, 2:205. Therefore, any use of violence in the name of Islam must be justified by clear Islamic principles and carried out with the utmost restraint and compassion. Section 6. Judaism, a Messianic Age of Peace. Judaism, like Christianity and Islam, also has a rich tradition of Messianic prophecy. The Jewish people have long awaited the arrival of a divinely appointed leader, the Messiah, who will usher in an era of peace, prosperity, and spiritual enlightenment. The Hebrew Bible describes the Messianic age as a time when war and conflict will cease, and the world will be united under God's rule. The prophet Isaiah famously wrote, "They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." Isaiah 2:4. The concept of the Messiah and the Messianic Age has been a source of both hope and debate within Judaism. Some Jewish traditions emphasize the miraculous nature of the Messiah's arrival, believing that he will be a descendant of King David who will rebuild the temple in Jerusalem and restore the Davidic monarchy. Others interpret the prophecies more metaphorically, believing that the Messianic Age will be brought about gradually through human effort and social progress. Section 7. Hinduism Cycles of Creation and Destruction. Unlike the Abrahamic faiths, Hinduism does not have a linear concept of time. Instead, it views time as cyclical, with periods of creation and destruction following one another in an endless loop. These cycles, known as yugas, are divided into 4 epochs: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Each yuga is characterized by a different level of spiritual advancement and moral decline, with Satya Yuga being the most virtuous and Kali Yuga, the present age, being the most corrupt. Within this cyclical framework, wars and conflicts are seen as inevitable aspects of creation and destruction. The Hindu epic, the Mahabharata, describes a devastating war between 2 sets of cousins, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, which symbolizes the eternal struggle between good and evil. However, Hinduism also teaches that even amidst chaos and destruction, the divine force remains present, guiding the universe towards its ultimate destiny. Section 8. Common threads, justice, transformation, and peace. Despite their different contexts, the prophecies of future wars in these religions share striking similarities. One common thread is the emphasis on justice. Each faith believes that a time will come when evil will be vanquished and the righteous rewarded. Another theme is transformation. Prophecies describe upheaval and change leading to a fundamentally different world. Finally, all 4 religions envision a future characterized by peace. These prophecies offer hope that violence and conflict will one day end. Section 9. Points of divergence, literal versus symbolic interpretations. While there are clear commonalities in the prophecies of future wars across these religions, there are also significant differences. One key difference lies in how these prophecies are interpreted. Some religious groups, particularly within Christianity and Islam, tend to interpret end-time prophecies literally, believing that the events described in their sacred texts will occur exactly as written. This literalist approach can lead to a sense of urgency and even fear as believers await the imminent fulfillment of these prophecies. Other groups, often found within Judaism and Hinduism, but also present in Christianity and Islam, adopt a more symbolic or allegorical interpretation of these prophecies. They view the imagery and language of end-time predictions as metaphors for spiritual truths or as commentaries on the human condition. For them, the significance of these prophecies lies not in predicting specific events, but in conveying broader messages about the nature of good and evil, the importance of living a righteous life, and the ultimate triumph of hope over despair. Section 10. The relevance of ancient prophecies in a modern world. In an age of technological advancements and scientific discoveries, it is easy to dismiss ancient prophecies as outdated or irrelevant. However, these prophecies continue to resonate with people across cultures and backgrounds. They offer a sense of meaning and purpose in a world that can often feel chaotic and uncertain. Moreover, they provide a framework for understanding our place in the grand scheme of things, reminding us that our actions have consequences, and that we are not simply passive bystanders in the unfolding drama of history. The prophecies of future wars can also serve as a call to action. By highlighting the devastating consequences of conflict and the importance of striving for peace, they challenge us to examine our own roles in perpetuating violence and injustice. They remind us that we have a responsibility to work towards a more peaceful and equitable world, not just for our own sake but for the sake of future generations. Section 11. Conclusion, a message of hope and responsibility. The prophecies of future wars found within Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and Hinduism offer a fascinating glimpse into the diverse ways that humans have grappled with the nature of time, conflict, and the ultimate destiny of humankind. While these prophecies differ in their details and interpretations, they share a common core of hope. They remind us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit yearns for peace, justice, and a better world. They also emphasize that we are not simply pawns in a predetermined cosmic drama. We have the agency to make choices that can shape the course of history. Ultimately, these prophecies are not just about predicting the future. They are about inspiring us to create a better future, one characterized by compassion, understanding, and a shared commitment to building a world where war is no longer a possibility, but a distant memory.